Hello everyone. I'm trying to squeeze a quick video in to talk briefly about the 4.4 update. And well, it's live, and we'll start off with the big topic that I'm not gonna lose a huge amount of time on. The new UI. I had a look. I have played a battle briefly, and I'd say I am playing on a phone. This is a 6-odd-inch screen. The buttons are on the tiny side, but it does kind of look a little bit like World of Tanks from what I've seen. It's not something I can't handle. The only button in the battle UI that's slightly off for my muscle memory is the telescope view, but it's not off by much. So I'm reasonably certain that I can pretty quickly get that retrained. Probably my biggest issue in the battle screens is the contrast, because light blue on light gray over a blue background reminds me of the old joke we had in Germany about the Frisian national flag, which is the white eagle on white background. So yeah, I don't quite like that, and obviously a lot of people seem to be up in arms about it. You can talk about taste or something. I think there are definitely some improvements that need to be made, but well, it is what it is right now. So let's give it a bit of time, just to, at least for myself, just to play a couple of battles, play a couple of rounds, get used to it a bit, and see where the biggest gripes are, and let the dust settle. But that's not what we're here to talk about, because I think a lot of people are probably ranting about that everywhere anyway. Let's go through the patch notes after that. We have a new map. Okay, well, I'll talk about it when we actually get to see it. We have more Commander XP boosters, which is good, I guess. So Commander leveling is one thing, especially like me, if you're playing a lot of different lines at the same time. That can take quite a while, actually. So maybe that's good. We get tech line and premium discount coupons. I'm not sure what that's all about. Ship discounts. Well, I guess it's a discount, right? So you get the ship for cheaper, I guess, at the end of the day. Well, okay. There is a thing about events. So ranked event battles and such. You get stuff, and you get like gold and silver that you can collect during the event. And then if you've reached a certain threshold, then you can take it out of the event and cash it into your account, which I guess is a way to get people to play more, maybe, during events. I personally don't have my hopes up that I am going to be having enough time to actually even reach these limits, but we will see. I'm probably going to ignore that for now. Now we're coming to the point that I'm actually excited about. So now that that's all out of the way, ship balancing. And oh boy, have they been going down on this. They've been getting practically medieval on this thing. Okay, let's go through. The new Soviet Tier 5 cruiser has been buffed. I haven't even played that thing, so I can't say anything about it. The Emerald has been buffed, which I'm not sure why, because the Emerald is a perfectly fine destroyer as it was, but she gets more hit points, better dispersion, better concealment, and better main battery traverse. Okay, then. The Furutaka has been buffed. No, that's okay. The Furutaka wasn't always the greatest ship, I guess. Well, it's mid-tier, right? The Aoba, generally disliked, has been buffed a little bit. Better reload, better dispersion, bit more health. This is all mid-tier stuff, right? So it's not going to make a huge kind of difference. The Devonshire has been buffed. The Devonshire was pretty dreadful as far as I remember, so they could have put a bit more into that thing, I guess. The Leander has been buffed. Okay, sure, more hit points for these things. The Dallas has been buffed. Now, that's something that I agree with. What has she got? She gets a better firing range, and she gets better concealment. Okay, sure, we'll take it. It's 7.5 kilometer concealment on a light cruiser. It's actually not terrible. The Haida has been buffed, and yes, the Haida needed a buff. So she gets a better fire chance, a little bit, and she's getting a bit better torpedo damage. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember, but I can't quite remember what I suggested for the Haida, but I'm not sure if it was that. Anyway, she needed a buff. That's much I remember. Strasbourg is much more recent, so that I remember, and I'm pretty sure I actually recommended that to give her either the precise aim or the engine accel. as a buff, and she does get an engine accelerator, and it's even an engine accelerator too. So, and she's got a range increase. So, for a tier 6, French, as a tier 7 French Dunkerque, that's not a bad thing to have. She was in need. And now it gets a bit funky, because for reasons, well, that are unknown to mankind, or they're probably known to wargaming, but they're not really known to the rest of us. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. They have buffed the German battleships. So the Gneisenau and the Scharnhorst, which were extremely powerful machines to begin with, they're getting a secondary overload skill. And I think we've seen this on the Pommern earlier, if I'm not mistaken. As far as I remember, it was a reload and range increase for the secondaries. So sure, we'll take it. The next one's hurt me a little bit for two reasons. First of all, the Z23 has lost her 150mm guns and has gotten 128mm guns. The Z23 is a 1936A design. The 1936A design never had 128mm guns. Wargaming, what are you drinking? She had 150mm. This is historically inaccurate, and I object to it in the strongest terms possible. The other reason is that I actually recorded my first impression of the Z23 on the 4.3 release. I think it was on Sunday night. And on Wednesday, they're changing the ship significantly. So, I mean, oh well, you're going to get to see my initial review, and just be aware that 2 days after I did that, the ship got changed substantially. So it's not the same ship anymore. That said, I was planning to do a get good video on the Z23 anyway, so it's all good. The Takao is a good ship. So she got her range increased ever so slightly. She gets better dispersion, and she gets better AP penetration. That's a good thing, actually, because the Japanese 203mm armor piercing is dreadful. I've scored more citadels with the high explosive than with the armor piercing on these things. So that's a good thing. And I'm going to have to actually... did I review the Taka already? I don't know. Somebody looked that up. I'm not sure if I did. I might have. Did I? I was planning to. I know that much. I was planning to. But I distinctly remember talking about the dreadful armor piercing on Japanese cruiser guns, heavy cruiser guns. But I can't remember if it was about the Takao or if it was on one of the other ones that I did. Anyway, if I haven't, I'm going to review the Takao. And that's definitely a good thing, so I'm going to have to keep an eye out on that. The Maya gets which is a Takao class as far as I remember, gets better range and gets the better dispersion, but does not get the better AP shell penetration, because reasons. The Bagration gets a 1 second faster reload, which is good. The Tone gets a typo corrected. Woohoo! Anyway, the Massachusetts gets the secondary overload. Now I think they could have given her one more, maybe, because I have actually tried a secondary built Massa, and it just doesn't quite work. So this is one of those ships that's on my needs a buff quite urgently list. But I would have loved to. If the auto secondaries had been buffed to the same power as the manual secondaries, that would have been amazing. But, it is what it is, and we'll take it. The Amagi, which I haven't tried yet, gets her dispersion improved. And the Bismarck gets her engines improved by quite a bit in terms of acceleration, and also gets the secondary overload skill. And so does the Tirpitz. And so does the Odin. Excuse me, give me a moment here. Sure, because the Odin wasn't powerful enough yet, was it? You people do realize that thing has a range. The secondaries on that thing have a range half across the map, and now I get a skill to make him even better. Oh well. Anyway, the Izumo gets an improvement, better dispersion, and better AP penetration. Don't know why the penetration, because I quite enjoy the guns on the Izumo, on the black Izumo at least. The Freddy gets the secondary overload skill and gets her engines improved. And so does the Pommern. So the Pommern didn't have it. Who had the secondary overload skill? Somebody had it. Was it the Aegir? I bloody well can't remember. It was one of the German ships that I've reviewed reasonably recently. But if the Pommern just got it, then it must have been the Aegir probably. Anyway, the Lion. Yeah, I haven't tried the Lion, but I've tried the Conqueror, and it was pretty meh. So the Lion gets better dispersion and gets better fire chance. And they fixed the the Petropavlovsk, that thing. She now gets 360 turrets. So you can they don't have to swing the long way around if you want to change sides, which means you can play bow in quite a lot more. It's similar to the Königsberg on in the German cruiser line on tier 5. So I am going to have to try that one out again. The Nevsky has been buffed as well. She gets a faster reload and a better fire chance. The Yoshino has been buffed. We get a better torpedo range. The Yoshino, I can't remember if the Yoshino was any good or not. Yeah, we've already talked about the Große Kurfürst, as mentioned twice here. The Conqueror gets better dispersion, better fire chance, and better concealment, although by... it doesn't really matter, really, honestly. But yeah, the Conqueror could use that, honestly. And so could the Thunderer. So getting the Thunderer down to 19 seconds and getting her turret traverse up. Given that the Thunderer is a hell of a lot more maneuverable than the Conqueror, that is also a very, very good change. So all in all, yeah, that was a lot of things from my personal wish list on ships that really, really needed a buff. So I think that's all in all good. Yeah, so about the UI stuff, we're just going to have to see, right? It is what it is right now, and yeah, we'll see if something changes going forward. But definitely a lot of buffs around everywhere in the ships. And yeah, I still got some ships on my list that could probably do with a bit of love, like the gearing. But it's tricky to balance. But a lot of things have been buffed. So let's play a while and see how this all turns out. And let the dust settle about the UI and everybody get used to it. And then, well, we'll see. For this week, you still get recordings from the 4.3 release, so don't be surprised if Saturday's video has the old UI, and Thursdays for that matter, because it's Wednesday still. Is it Wednesday? I think it's Wednesday. Anyway, enough waffling. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye, have a good one.